Hey guys, this is Hydra from Xtrades back with another video, and in this video we're going to go over Broadcom's massive run over the last couple years, right? This name IPO'd back in 2009, and yeah, it was $1. Yeah, it was $1. It was actually trading like a penny stock before, or when it started out, right? The stock was actually just $1, and it looks like in the beginning we formed the base, and then we had that IPO breakout, formed another base, and then we broke out further, and then we formed a really long base, and then had a really nice run, right? This one we went from $4 to 15, and yeah, this one just continued to grind up higher and higher. Had a massive rally from 2013 all the way up to 2018, and then we had a little correction, right? Not too much of a pullback. This one trades really well. It doesn't pull back in too much. And then yeah, we had a breakout again, and then this was the 2020 COVID lows where we had some panic selling going on, right? So I think this is a good starting point because this was the most recent, like a really big low, right, that we had. And yeah, ever since 2020 we had a really nice V-shaped recovery, right? So this was the base that we had, and we had a V-shaped recovery, consolidated right below that key resistance level, and had a huge breakout, right? And this one tightened up nicely right before the nice breakout, right? So this is A+ action, and then yeah, we just continued to grind up higher and higher. We formed like a mini base over here, right? A little bit of consolidation, and then we broke out, and then again we formed another base, and then we broke out, right? So the strongest names always move like this. They form bases, break out, form bases, break out, right? So it's like a staircase, right? You take one step and then you rest, and then you take another step and then you rest. And then in 2020 we had that big bear market, but this one actually didn't pull back in that much, right? It went from 65 to 45, which isn't too bad because a lot of names went down almost 80%. So Broadcom actually held up really well during the 2022 bear market, right? And as soon as we break out of this trend line, this is a really good buying opportunity, right? And then we had a nice slow grind up, and then we had a huge earnings gap up, and then yeah, we just pretty much took off, right? So on that earnings gap up, you could have bought it, and then you had a nice base that formed, and then you could have bought that base breakout, and then this one just continued to grind up higher and higher. And then back in 2024 we formed a really nice flag here, right? It was consolidating for quite some time, back-to-back weeks of consolidation, and then we broke out higher, so that was a good buying opportunity. And then when we retested that breakout, right, that was also a good buying opportunity around that 143 level. And then yeah, again, another good pullback buy that you could have bought off around that 143 level. And then we got a really nice bounce off in 2025 off that off those April lows. That's where we had a lot of volatility, and we quickly took out the previous highs, and then we just been slow grinding up higher and higher, right? So here we formed like a nice flag. Here we also had like a nice flag, right? And then you have multiple flags over here. This is one flag, this is another flag, but lately we kind of just been like basing out here. And we just broke out of this base last week. So overall, Broadcom is looking really strong. This is one of the strongest names in the entire market, as strong as Nvidia, maybe even stronger. But yeah, this one looks insanely bullish, and this is exactly how a true market leader moves, right? Every single pullback was an opportunity to buy the dip. And yeah, over the long term, this name that looks expensive just continues to grind higher and higher. And if you take a look at all the big tech names like Nvidia, Google, right, they all continue to grind higher and higher. And even though they look very pricey, the strongest names always continue to go higher. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys for tuning in.